This time on One Foot Flipper, I look at 7 things that maybe you shouldn't learn from YouTube. Stay tuned.
One foot flipper.
Hi, Paige here, One Foot Flipper. How's it going? Doing pretty good. I'm trying to make a schedule for myself to balance out my YouTube and my reselling life a little bit better. Really, to make a long story short, I'm going to start dedicating Tuesdays and Thursdays to content creation. Spend the rest of the week focused on reselling because I've been spending way too much time focusing on content creation, or more of the time wasting part of the content creation. I'm not even actually doing anything, and I need to get more of a balance there. But I thought today, let's look at 7 things that maybe you don't want to pick up from your favorite YouTube resellers, maybe even including me. Some of the things, not everything you see is good. Let's go ahead and get into it. Number 1 thing I'm going to say right now that you're going to hear your YouTube resellers doing that I don't think you should ever do is free shipping. Any of you guys ever watch ADH Dave? I know I do. Probably every single day, since he somehow manages to put out a full-length video every day. And how many times have you seen him say that he sent an item out at a dead loss due to free shipping? It barely goes a week without doing it, as far as I can remember. But losing money on sales, that makes for great YouTube content, but it doesn't really make for great income. For those of you who don't know or haven't experienced yet, I think free shipping is an expert option that I feel is only suitable for people who sell new items in quantity, or focused specialists who only sell one sort of thing, and that thing has a very predictable shipping cost. If all you sell is shirts that weigh less than 1 pound, or all you sell is CDs that ship out at 4 ounces, I bet you could rock free shipping and you could figure out how to make it work. But for people who sell everything, free shipping can be a disaster. Free shipping makes it impossible for you to safely run large sales. You can't send offers or do mass markdowns because you have to take that free shipping into the shipping cost into account for every single item that you are sending an offer out or marking down or putting on sale. It's a nightmare. And really, even 100% business-focused YouTubers who have focused specialties who could use free shipping, like Daily Refinement, they generally warn against using free shipping. So why in the world would you do it because your favorite entertainment-focused channel does it? Doesn't make any sense. Your number 2 thing is basing your store around sales or coupons. I'm sure you've seen plenty of reseller channels either seriously or casually mention that they are marking their items up to account for a sale or a coupon. Now, why in the world would you want to go do that? Most buyers are only going to care about that shipped price. And marking something up just to account for a coupon that marks it down, that just buries you in the search results, because search results do not take that coupon into account. And in my experience, a huge number of customers, they'll fail to use the coupon in the first place. In fact, in my experience, the eBay coupon is the least successful of all the possible promotions you can do with eBay. Nothing I've ever done with coupons on eBay has ever worked. From publishing public coupons, to sending out coupons to thousands of prior customers, to putting coupon codes on my videos, to sending cards with coupon codes on my orders, all of that, basically 0 results. Basing your stores around sales or coupons also is just really going to interact poorly with the next thing on the list. Your number 3 thing is changing what you're doing all the time. You know, you see this a lot on some channels, right? This week I promoted all my listings by 20%. Then the next week you see, this week I turned off promotions. The next week, I put everything on free shipping. The next week, I'm running a 30% off everything sale, guys. Week after that, I'm going to end and sell my entire store every single day for an entire week. And the next week, I'm moving all my items to Poshmark. Week after that, moving all my items to Mercari. You know what? You're never going to figure out what works for you when you don't stick with anything long enough to actually see the long-term results. And 1 week isn't enough. When you make a change, the change you see in that first week are just going to be the tiniest ripples. It's going to be what that change caused some items to sell more or less instantly. It's not going to show you what your real long-term results are going to be from that change. it's just going to show you a fraction of what the long-term results are going to be. Your number 4, buying things you hate or things that are outside your comfort zone. You might see people scoring big time with things like vintage lawn chairs, Pokemon cards, Warhammer figures here, glass items, comic books, etc. So you go ahead and you buy these items too, but it doesn't seem to work out as well for you. You might not have the storage space for those vintage lawn chairs. Or you might find yourself buying really marginal ones because you don't actually know that category. And you live in an area where they very rarely ever show up, so when you see one, you snatch it up. Now, in reality, good examples of things like vintage lawn chairs, they're going to show up in areas where people have lots of rooms to store things. You know, your rural areas, and even then, that YouTube reseller who knows about them probably passes up most of the ones that they see, only getting the absolute best ones. While your collectible items like cards, Warhammer, fantasy figures, glass, comics, they all require quite a bit of knowledge in order to know if you were buying cash or literally just buying garbage. Literally, a handful of Pokemon cards could be worth thousands of dollars. It's more likely not worth a quarter. Do you know how to tell? No? Then why are you buying them? You might actually end up getting a killer deal on that box of Magic cards, Warhammer figures, but end up with it still not being worth it because by the time you put the labor into them, you made $5 an hour on them. You could have done better on the stuff you already knew about. So really, if you find those boxes of Warhammer, Dungeons & Dragons, or other war game miniatures, and they're a good deal, but you don't want to deal with them or become an expert, send them to me. Once I sort through them, I'll pay you a fair price for them. And you'll make a profit with almost no work. And I'll also make a profit because I already wasted hundreds of hours of my life becoming an expert in that area. And also get more money for them than you will because I already have a store full of them. So people, my existing ones will lead people to buy more of them or to look at more of them, thus causing more of them to sell. Hey, your number 5 here is bad pricing policies. While nobody ever wants to admit to it, plenty of YouTube resellers, they just price guess. They throw everything up there with no research, relying on their own experience or gut to price everything. You know, that might work if you were tech and sports who was a specialist in a single category that they're still, by the way, constantly researching and updating their knowledge on. I'm sure tech could price a man's shirt without looking up the comps. I can't. Bet you can't either. Or if you can for one thing, can't for everything. So why would you be doing it that way? Now, a lot of YouTubers, they'll tell you to list in the middle of the solds range. But there's 2 basic problems with this. First is, most of that sold range data is old news. That's what was going on 2-3 months ago, not what's going on today. The middle of the solds range might be $32. But if there are 50 of them listed right now at less than $20, then listing one at $32 is just going to, it will never sell unless the price changes again to where that $32 becomes competitive. And the second problem with that is that offers, multi-item orders, combined shipping, and differences in calculated shipping price make it very difficult to actually determine what the middle of the sold range even is. Sure, might look like that 7th anniversary Fugler sold for $20 plus $27 in shipping, but you're only seeing that because you live in California and that Fugler was sold out of Florida with calculated shipping. What you don't and can't know, that Fugler actually shipped from Florida, Virginia, $7 shipping and only sold for $27 total shipped. Or you might see, oh yeah, that Disney poster, that sold for $6 plus $10 shipping, so that's actually a good valid item to have. What you don't realize is that poster is actually awful and unsellable, and the only reason it sold is because the seller has lots of posters and has in his description or whatever that he refunds all shipping costs on every poster past the first one, like I do. And that poster would never have sold for the $16 shipped price that you actually are seeing there. Now, what I do is I tend to list around the cheapest currently available shipped or at the highest shipped price listed in solds, whichever is lower. It's actually very common for an uncommon item for every single one on eBay to be listed far higher than any history in solds. That is really the norm when you get to things that there are only 3 or 4 of on the website. So that's why you got to look at both your solds and your currently listeds. Because I want my item to sell next. Maybe not someday when the moon is right and the right person sees it and the market prices have shifted. No, I want mine to sell next. Your sixth thing is buying a bunch of viewer sale items when you don't have any viewers. A lot of YouTube viewers do indeed like to support their favorite channels by purchasing things from their stores, like my Death Pile Monsters. And viewers tend to buy inexpensive, decorative pop culture items, usually under $15. ADH Dave said in one of his videos that when he moved his minimum eBay price to $15, that his viewer sales basically completely dried up overnight. Viewer sales will often be in the $5 to $8 range, and don't think that I'm saying that viewers can't afford to spend more or anything like that. That's just often the price point that they like to shop in when they're specifically looking to support a channel and not just shopping for what they want for in the first place. So this means that your larger established channels, they have a much easier time selling things like low-end plush, low-end toys, pop culture stickers, and similar trinkets and knickknacks in that $5 to $8 range. The railroad reseller, he might sell 10 Union Pacific Railroad stickers a week at $5 each, while you might not be able to sell a single one of them ever, even at $2. It's because they're buying that from him because it's him. They're not buying that item because it is the item. At least, not really. Seventh time is wasting your time searching for things or just doubling down on business models that don't work in your area. Like my buddy J-Ride, he lives someplace where he can constantly find high sell-through rate electronics on his local thrift route. I've seen J-Ride's videos. I could go to every thrift store within 20 miles of here and not see the selection that I see on 10 seconds of his footage sitting on a single shelf in one store in one of his videos. While your Florida-based resellers, they might be able to buy nothing but golf clubs just due to their location. Because there's tons of courses there, people play year-round, people play so often because of the number of retired people. They're always fiddling their club layouts, buying new clubs, and used clubs are flooding the market there. But you're not going to see that sort of opportunity in North Dakota. And you'd be wasting your time trying to specialize in trendy men's clothing in rural Arkansas. However, you know what? I bet you do great with hunting, fishing, and outdoor gear in that same location. You've got to find what is going to work right for you in your location if you're going to have a specialty. All right, I think that's all I've got for today. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. And hey, check and see if you're still subscribed. Half the people who watch this channel aren't. Thanks. Hope to see you again soon.